Today, I'm going to show you how to create a one-page website on WordPress. Maybe you're thinking of creating a personal portfolio website, a service-based website, an event website like a wedding site or a rock concert site, or even an agency website. I'm pretty sure this is going to be helpful, and if you are a freelancer, this will give you an additional template in your arsenal. So I will show you how to create this page from scratch using only the native WordPress editor, and we will not rely on any templates or page builders to build the page. With the knowledge you will gain from this video, I'm pretty sure you will have the ability to create any kind of web pages you see on the internet. That's the goal of this video, on top of learning how to create a one-page website. We will have this cool looking video background as the hero section with this cool menu items, and as we scroll down, it will have this sticky menu bar, and if we click on either one of these items, it will bring us to the specific section of the page. And finally, the call to action that will include the contact form that looks cool and blends with the website. If you find this web design familiar, it's actually from my previous tutorial on how to create a personal portfolio website. And the reason I'm using the same design is because previously I used a plugin called Stackable. It was in the version 2.0 at the time, and it has since been upgraded to 3.0, and a lot of things were kind of outdated. So some of my subscribers were asking me if I can do an update for it. So I want to take this opportunity to do that update video. Anyway, this website is super easy to create, even without a page builder. You or your client may like this because it will load super fast. So if you want to learn how to do what I've just described, let's get started. Hey, this is Jack, and if this is your first time watching a video from my channel, I share a lot of WordPress tutorials mainly focusing on site speed and design. So if you want to learn how to easily create a fast loading and beautiful WordPress website, then subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so you won't miss any of my videos. Now, let's start everything from scratch. So here we are on a completely blank WordPress website. I don't want to go through the details of how to buy a WordPress web hosting and install WordPress because I believe it is rather an easy task and could be achieved by engaging with the web host directly. So I don't want to waste your time. If you want me to recommend the best web hosting, which means the fastest and the cheapest, it is going to be A2 hosting. You can check out the video at the top right to see why I recommend it. Anyway, this is how I would like to design my websites. I have the live page on the right, and I have the WordPress backend on the left. So whatever edits that are done on the left will be reflected on the right. Now the first thing we have to do is to install a WordPress theme. So let's go to Appearance, and under Themes, you can see that the current theme that is active is 2021. It is the default theme when you install a new WordPress site, and we don't want this. So let's add new, and let's search for a theme called Blocksy. Now this is one of the best WordPress themes on the market right now. It is kind of new, but it has a lot of features even in the free version. So let's install this and activate. Now once activated, we can delete the rest of the themes for housekeeping. So I'll click on theme details and I'll just click on delete. And then I'll do the same for the rest. Blocksy is the only theme that is installed and activated. And together with Blocksy, there is this Blocksy companion, which is important to install, because it has a lot more additional features by just installing this Blocksy companion, such as the transparent header which we need. So let's install this, and here we go. Let's skip this, and next we need to go to plugins and install plugins. And as you can see, Blocksy companion is installed. We need to install another plugin called Stackable, because Stackable is what we will use to design the pages. So let's install this. Now the reason why I like Stackable is because it uses Gutenberg Blocks, which are native to the WordPress editor. And whatever pages that is built with it will load fast. And that's why I recommend Stackable, especially when you're using a theme like Blocksy. So let's get started with this. Next and skip, and we're done. So cool, we have installed the theme and all the necessary plugins. The next thing we're gonna do is to create the header of the website. But right now, let's refresh this. And as you can see, this is how the default Blocksy theme will look like. And let's do one more thing before we design a header. We want to create a new page. So under Pages, let's add new. Let's call this the home page. Alright, let's publish this. Even though this is a blank page, I'll explain to you why you need to publish this without any content. And then let's go back to the WordPress dashboard. Next, we want to use this page as the home page of the website. Because currently, as you can see, the default Blocksy theme, as with many other WordPress themes, would use the block row as the home page, and we don't want that. We want a static page that represents the home page. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go to settings, and under reading, under your home page displays, we want to select a static page, and under home page, we want to select this home. And the reason why I said to publish that blank page is because if it is not published, you will not see this page here. So let's select this, save changes, and immediately after that, let's refresh this page. You will see that your home page is now reflecting the blank page you have just created. And now we are ready. Let's build the header. Now to design a header, let's go to Appearance, and under Customize, we want to right click and open up in a new tab. And over here is where you can edit the theme settings. The theme basically controls the header, the footer, the spaces around the pages, and the sidebar if there is any. The reason why I like Blocksy is also because it is very flexible in terms of the design settings. Like for example, if you want to design a header, let's go to Header. And as you can see over here, these are all the elements you can add to the header. And over here, you got a logo, which is represented by this Jackchild Blocksy templates. And we have the menu. For this size, it's kind of like a tablet view. And if I expand this, you can see that this is the desktop and laptop view. The menu is basically represented by these two, home and sample page. And you're seeing this is because we have not created menu items and defined it here. And then next we have the search, which is represented by this magnifying glass. So let's say if we do not want this search function, because since this is a one-page website, you don't need the search function. There isn't much info to be searched on your website. We can delete this by clicking on this. And here we go. The magnifying glass is gone. And then if we want to move the logo to the middle, all we need to do is click and drag this logo to the middle. And there we go. It's that simple. And for example, if you want to add a button, over here you can see this button. Let's click and drag it right beside the menu. So maneuvering the header items is actually very easy. Now, first thing first, we want to change the logo because this text just doesn't look nice. So let's click on this logo. And as you can see, once you click on that, all these settings will appear. Let's select a logo. And now all these images and videos over here are downloadable. I've left a link in the description. Feel free to use it with no strings attached. So I'll select this white logo, and don't worry that it will become transparent because of the color blend, because eventually the background of this website is going to be black and then the logo will be visible. So let's not worry about that. And as you can see, you can't see the logo right now, and I do not want this text to be here. So over on this site title, let's toggle this off and the text will be gone. Now we can control the logo height if we want to, but I'll just keep it as 70 for now. But just to see the logo properly, let's go to the main row and click on this settings. Let's go to design, and under background, let's change it to black so that we can see the logo. Now as you can see, 70 pixels is a little big, so let's change this to maybe 45. I think this looks good. Now the next thing is we want to add the header menu items. So what we will do is to go back to the WordPress dashboard, and under Appearance, we got this menus over here. Let's click on this. Let's create a new menu. Let's say this is for the main page. So I'll just put main, and then this is for header menu 1, and we want this to be on the mobile menu as well. Let's create a new menu. And then next, because this is a one-page website, we're not going to see a lot of pages here, definitely not a lot of posts. So what we're going to do is to create custom links. For now, I'll just use hashtag. So whenever somebody clicks on the menu item, it will just stay on the page and nothing will happen. So the first menu item we will create is courses. And depending on what is the purpose of your website, you can create your menu items if you have planned it out already. So I'll add to menu. Next, I'll create another item, put a hashtag here on the URL. And then for the link text, I'll put as guitar lessons. Add to menu. I'll create another, and this is for piano lessons. Add to menu. And now the thing is, for guitar lessons and piano lessons, I want to put it under courses. So on the menu itself, I will only see courses, and when I hover, these two items will appear. So how should we do it? All we need to do is to click on this guitar lessons and drag it out a little So there is an indentation here. And this basically means guitar lessons is the sub-item of courses. Let's do the same for piano lessons and we're done. Next, let's create another menu item, hashtag, and I'll put this as services. And then I will put this, let's say that I'm providing consulting services as well as studio recording services. Let's add to menu, drag this out, and there we go. We're done with the first menu. Let's save this and let's go back to the theme customizer. And before we refresh, let's publish this first so that whatever things that we have done, like for example, the logo and all this stuff over here will be saved. And then next, let's refresh this page. And now over here, you will see the courses and the services over here. And what if I want to bring this menu item over here? Let's go to header and let's bring menu 1 right beside logo. And then next, I want to create another menu right beside the logo. So over here, menu 2, let's click and drag it right beside logo. And now let's create the items. Let's go back to the WordPress dashboard. And then over here, let's create a new menu. I will name this as main 2. Put this as header menu 2. And this is represented by this menu 2 here. So whatever changes you've done over here on this header menu 2 will be reflected on the header. So let's create menu, custom links. I'll put this as my works, about, and that's basically it. Let's save menu, publish and refresh. And here we go. We have 4 menu items over here. Now let's design the menu items because this just doesn't look nice. So let's go to header, click on menu 1. And as you can see over here, there are 4 types of layouts you can choose. So if I select this, you can see this is how it looks like. Select this and this is how it looks like. And for this, we have this design as well. Now I really like this. We can even change the spacing of the items. As you can see right here, as I toggle this item spacing, it expands out. So I will just keep this as 25. And as for the item height, we can change the height of this 2 lines over here. So I'll just put this as 30. And here we go. This looks nicer. Now let's change the color of the menu items. Let's go to design. And over here, we can see that the font color, we want it to be white initially. And then as we hover, we want to change the color to something like this. So as we hover, it looks like this. That's good. But the colors of these 2 lines have to change. So over here, active indicator color, we need to change this to the same color as well. Now it looks better. And next we have to change the colors of the drop down as well because it doesn't match. So let's scroll down under drop down options, under design, for the item's background color. As you can see, currently it is this color. We want to change it to maybe this color. So it looks like this. But for the hover, I don't want this to be blue. So I'll just change this to maybe white or something. Or maybe this color, but a little darker. Cool. I think this looks good. Now let's design the items of menu 2. But before that, let's jot down the color of this. Let's copy it somewhere. And let's click on menu number 2. Under design, for the font color, I want to make it white. And for the hover, I'll paste in this color code. But before that, we have to select this to make it consistent. And this will be 30%, I believe. If I'm not wrong, but just check it out. Correct, it is 30%. Okay, so let's go to design, change this color to the same color as well, so it is consistent throughout. And we are basically done. We don't even need to use that color we have just copied because we have no drop downs on menu 2. Next, let's design this menu button. You can either click on this or you can click on this. Either way, it will bring you to the settings. Now we want this design, which what they call ghost, so it will take out the background color of the button. You can control the size of the button to maybe medium or maybe large, but I prefer it to be small. And for the label, you can basically call it contact if that is the call to action for your one-page website. If it is a personal portfolio, it makes sense to be a contact button. Next, let's click on design. For the font color, we want to turn this into this color. And as for the button color, let's change it to this. And this is the hover. Let's change it to this as well, so it will make, but I'll make it a little darker So it will look like this. Cool. I think we are basically done with the header. Now let's create the footer of the website. Oh, before we start with the footer, there's one thing I forgot to do, which is to turn this header transparent. Let's go back and then let's select headers. Under global header, as you can see, you can either have this sticky functionality, which we need. We'll customize this in a while, and we have this transparent functionality as well. So as you can see, these are all gone, but it still exists. Now the background of the header is taking the color of the page, and that's why it's called transparent header. Cool, let's go to the footer. Okay, now let's create the footer of the website. Let's go back all the way to the front, and over here we have the footer. And as you can see, currently there is just this copyright text, which is represented over here. So what we want to do is to edit this. So let's say this copyright, the current year, and then as for the site title and all this, I want to remove it. And I want to put the site title. Let's say it is Jack Chow. As you can see, the text is now aligned left. If I want to switch it to the middle, I can just click on this. And here we go. Now I want the background of the footer to be black, and I want the text to be the color that we have used on the header menu. So let's head back, and under footers, under this global footer, the footer background, I want to change it to black color. And then as for this copyright text, we can either change this design of the font over here. Otherwise, we can use something called the global palette to change the colors of the entire site. So let me introduce you to color palettes. Under colors, and here we go. This is the global color palette, and this governs the links, the text of the colors and everything. So let's say this color 7, right? This governs the background color of your entire website. So if you want to change the entire background of your website to maybe black, you can just do it like this. And you don't need to go to each individual page settings to change the background color. Once you change this, the colors on all the pages will be changed as well. And that's why this is called global color palette. And remember, just now we changed the colors of the menu items. We can actually do this here. But anyway, as you can see over here, these are the lighter colors. And these are basically the text colors. So if we want all the background to be all the dark colors, we gotta change the text colors to a lighter color. So for example, this, we want to change it to white. And as you can see over here, the copyright text is now white. Previously, it was a little darker. And as for this color 4, as we change this, this is the text color over here as well. So this is going to be a dark color. I'll just change everything to black. And as for the link color, this is the active link color and this is the hover color. So for active link color, I can change it to something like this that matches this. And for the hover color, I will turn this into a darker color, like this. So let's publish this, and now let's head back to the footer. Now at the top over here, under the top row, let's click on the settings. And as you can see, there are column layouts. Currently, there are 2 columns. You can change it over here if you want 6 columns. It is really up to you. But for me, I need 3 columns. And as I click here, you can see that there are a few layouts I can choose. For me, I would use these 3 equal columns. In the middle, I want to add a logo, so let's go back. Let's click and drag this widget area 1 and drop it in the middle column. And then you want to click on it. And then you want to click on this plus button to add a block. Let's select this image block and let's upload an image. Let's select this footer logo. And there we go. But this is not aligned to the center, so I will click on this to align it to the center. Next, I want to add some contact information on the left column, so let's go back. And I will click and drag this widget area 2 and drop it on the left column. Let's click on this widget and let's add a block. Let's select paragraph. I'll put in my email address and then I'll select the text by double clicking it. And then I want to add a link to this text. And as you can see, WordPress is smart enough to automatically identify that this is an email address. So it has added a mail to link so that when somebody clicks on this email address, they'll be able to send you an email through their selected mailing system. Cool, next I want to add my contact number here. So I will hit enter and I will put bracket 65234567 and 00. And then I want to highlight the text by double clicking it. But the problem now is that there is a wide gap between the email and phone number. So to solve that, let's cut this text, click on the email address, and I want to hold the shift key on your keyboard and hit enter. And you will see the cursor moving to the next line instead of adding a new block. So I'll paste the phone number here And as you can see, there is no spaces between the text now. Now let's select the phone number by double clicking it, and let's add a link to it. Let's type in TEL:, and let's put the phone number here. And click submit. So if somebody is on a phone and they click on this link, they can call this number immediately. We're done with this column. Let's add some social icons here. Let's head back. Over here, you will see the social tabs. Let's drag it over to the right column. And here we go. It's that simple. We can align this to the middle. Let's do this for widget 2 as well. And let's go back to the social icons. If you want to see more social icons, you can click on this and you will see a long list of social platforms you can add. For example, LinkedIn. Let's select that and click on this plus button and add the social icon. And here we go. If you want to add your social profile links to these icons, all you need to do is to click on this social network accounts and you'll be able to add your social account links to whichever network you're on. So if you have a LinkedIn account, you can add your profile link here. So that's basically it for the footer. Let's move on to the page elements. Okay, now we are basically done with all the stuff related to the theme. So let's close this off. And then over at our WordPress dashboard, let's go to pages and all pages. Let's select this home page and let's edit this. So the first thing we need to do is to change this background color into black. So let's go to design and under page background, let's turn this black. And now these tags are visible. And then as for this page title, we do not want it to be displayed. So let's disable this. Let's update this and let's refresh to see how it looks like right now. So this is a completely blank page over here. As you can see, the home is gone. Next, let us add a block. Let's click on this button to add a block. Let's browse all, scroll all the way down to the bottom. It's where all the stackable blocks are. And let's search for a block called hero over here. Let's click on this. Let's select the default design. And then we want to make this full width. Now I just want to show you something. Let's just select this default design, right? And then if we expand this list view, right, we can actually see that there are a lot of layers. There are all these elements, they are nested on top of the hero layer. So basically, if we hover to the heading, you can see that the heading is highlighted, the text, the button group, and the button. And then if we leave it as default, remember we have just selected the full width. Let's remove that. And then let's update this and let me show you how it looks like. So as you can see, there is this white background that looks just like this. And if we make this hero layer full width, and let's update and refresh this, you can see that the hero section will take the full width of the web page. And that's what we need. But the thing is, we do not want this background to be white. We want it to be black. And then later on, we will add a video background to it. So let's select this hero layer. Let's go to the settings. And then under the container background, for the background color, we want to turn this black. Next, you can change this title by clicking this. So we can do something like this. And then if we do not want this text to be here, we can just click on this more options and let's remove block. And the text is gone. And as for this button, you can change it to this ghost design that looks like this, which looks better. And for the text button, let's put this as maybe contact me. Okay, that looks good. So the next thing we want to do is to add a video background. And to do that, we need to make sure that the hero section is selected, because if you add a video background on these layers, the video background would not take the full width. So you gotta make sure that the hero layer is selected. And then next, under the style, we want to click on this and let's add a video. Now this video is optimized already, so you can just use it if you want to. Let's click on this and open. Let's give this a while. And cool, this is done. Let's select this and you can see that the video background is right there. Now what we want to do is to update this and let's refresh the live page. And here we go. But the thing now is that you see this black space here. We want to push this entire section, this hero section up so that this black space will be gone. So let's go back here. Let me open this up. And the thing here is that we need to understand a concept called margin and paddings. So let's go to advanced and then let's go to position. And over here, you can see that this is to control the top margin. And if I add some numbers to this, you can see that this is moving down. But if I want to move this up, you can basically put it as a negative value. So this is 150. Let's update this and refresh this live page. You can see that the video has gone up, but it is too much. So maybe we can put this as 100 and let's see if it works. It still works. Maybe 80. I'm just trying to find a sweet spot for this. And I think 80 works. But now I want to expand this down a little because this is too narrow. We can go back to the styles and then under container size and spacing. As you can see, this minimum height, we can bring this up. And as you can see, the height has widened. So maybe you can put this as 650. And let's try this out. Okay, this is the mobile view and this is the desktop view. So this looks cool to me. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comment section. And we are basically done with the hero section. So the next thing we want to do is to create something over here, maybe to introduce yourself. Okay, next let's create the about me section. So let's click on this and let's add block. Let's scroll down all the way to the bottom and look for a block called feature. Select this. Let's select the default. And then for this text, I want it to be on the right and the image, I want it to be on the left. So we have selected this text blocks. Let's move this to the right. As you can see, the positions have shifted. Now I want to change this header. Let me copy some text and I'll paste this over here. Next, I will copy some text and paste this over on this description. And this is basically for you to introduce yourself. And over here, you want to put probably an image of yourself. So let's add an image. Let's maybe select this. Okay, this looks good. Now for this button, I think I still like this ghost design. And then for the button text, I still want it to be contact me. Because especially on a one-page website, you should not have many call to action. You should only focus on one call to action. So we'll discuss about how to link this up. But for now, this is basically done, right? It's easy. So let's update this. Let's refresh the live page and let's check out how it looks like on desktop. So this is how it looks like. I think this looks good. What do you think? We have the sticky header and then we have a transparent header when we have reached the top of the website. So cool. Next, let's create a section for my services. Let's click on a new line. Let's add a new block. This time around, we want to find a block called feature grid, which is over here. Let's select this. And as you can see over here, there is this very cool zigzag feature grid. But this is for Stackable Pro and I'll play with it in a while. But for now, let's just use all the free blocks, which you can find over here. Let's select this default layout. Now over here, we can see that there are 3 columns. And if we want to reduce the columns down to 2, we can select this feature grid layer. And over here under columns, we can switch it to 2. So this is very flexible. You decide on how many columns you want. But for now, I'll keep it as 3. We do not want to add any image here. So we can click on this image, and the cool thing about Stackable Blocks is that each individual element over here can be deleted or added. So for example, if we do not want an image here, just click on this image, make sure that the image layer is selected. You can click on this list view as well to select this image. And all you need to do is to click on this options and remove this block, and the image will be gone. So that's the cool thing about Stackable Blocks. It is very flexible. So as you can see over here, under this column, there is a white background, which we do not want. We can actually toggle this off. And as you can see, this header and the text are now visible. And the thing is, if we want this design instead of this, we can just click on this, make sure that the column is selected. We can remove this block. And all we need to do, select this column, where everything within this column is selected. And all we need to do is to click on this duplicate and we can see another section of it has appeared. And if we want another section like this, all we need to do is to select this column layer and duplicate. And now there are 4 columns. I do not want this column to appear. So let's select this column and then we want to remove block. And now we only have 3 columns. Next, let's change the text. I have some text prepared. And if you want to use those texts as reference, those text templates are in the description as well. I've left a link there, so go check it out. I'll copy the text and I'll paste it here. I do not need the button. So that's how simple it is to edit the items in Stackable. I will fast forward this part to complete these two sections. And now we are done with this tree. And if you want to add another row of this, just make sure that you select the feature grid, which is the base layer. As you can see, this entire section is selected. And you want to click on this and duplicate. And here we go. There is another line of text. So let me do the same and add all those texts. And we are done here. Now the next thing is I want to add a new header over here. But instead of adding it at the top, let's click here. Let's search for heading. Let's align the center and let's put this as my services. And I want to bring this up by clicking this move up again. And I want to add some spaces here. And as you can see, as I hover, there is this brown section over here. That's the space. You can just click and just drag it down. And you can see there are more spaces added. Okay, 170 is good. Let's update this and let's refresh the page. Now this looks a little funny. I think it would be better if we have some kind of border here. So let's create the border and let's add some spaces for this. So as you can see, as I hover, I want to select this section. So let's click on this and I want to add the border. You can scroll down and as you can see, there is this container border and shadow. Let's expand this. And under borders, we want a solid border. For the border width, we can put this as maybe 1. And if you increase the number, the width of the border will increase as well. So this is what it controls. For this purpose, I'll just use 1. And I want to add some spaces within the box. So under container size and spacing, under paddings, let's click this and expand this. You can adjust this individually, but if you want to combine them and maybe have a 10 pixels for each of the sides, you can do so. Maybe a 20 is good. Okay, it looks decent. Let's do the same for the rest. I'll select the column, open up the container borders, select solid, put it as 1, and under the container spacing, I'll put this as 20. Let's do the same for this. But let me fast forward because it's a repeated process. Cool, we're done with this. And the final thing we want to do is to make this heading stand out. So for the size of this heading, we want to put this maybe as 55. Let's update this and refresh this to see how it looks like. I think this looks much better. So cool. Our services section is ready. Let's add another section called latest studio projects. So let's scroll down here. Now I want to show you something. Let's add a block. Let's browse all. Scroll all the way to the bottom. And we can see this separator here. You can click on this. And as you can see, you can add a separator down here. You can even change how it looks like by expanding this. As you can see, these are all the designs you can select. If you want a curve, you can do so. It's really up to you. I think this looks cool. And the thing is, you do not want any padding here because you want to join another section with a white background so it blends. Next, we want to add a block. Let's browse all, scroll down all the way, and let's use a block called Design Library. But I'll just click on this, and this is the coolest thing of Stackable because with the free version, they have quite a lot of design layouts, and if you upgrade to the pro version, they have even more pre-made design layouts for you. So let me scroll down to find a suitable layout. Let's say that I really like this. So let's click on this and this will be added here. Now let's change the image by clicking on this. And under block, there is this background. We can click on this image and let's change this up to this. Let's change the subtitle. And let's change this image as well to this. So this looks cool, right? Let's see how it looks on a live page. Okay, the spacer is a little weird, so maybe we can remove that. Let's click on this separator and let's remove block. Now we want to add a heading. Let's say this is the latest studio project. Let's shift this up And then as you can see here, we can expand the spacing. For this text, I want to align the center. And I want to change the size of this text. So under style, for the size, I want to put this as 55. So this stands out. Let's update this, refresh it again. And cool, this looks awesome. Next, we want to do something like an FAQ over here. So let's add block. Let's add a heading first. So this is frequently asked questions. Let's align the center. Change the size of the heading to 55. Have a little bit of spaces here. And next, let's add a new block. Let's search for something called Accordion, which is right here. As you can see, these are the two options you can choose. I'll choose probably this plain layout. And then for this, I'll put it as why you should hire me. And then I've prepared some text. And if I want to add another, let's select the accordion layer, which is right here. And then next, we want to duplicate another. Now let's change this to how much does it cost to hire me? And then I've prepared some answer to this. Let's select the accordion again. And let's duplicate another. And finally, let's put this question and the answer. So here we go. This is how it looks like. You can actually change the settings of this. You can align this to the center. Let's update this and refresh the live page. So this is how it looks like. I think there are some errors here because I'm trying to align this to the middle, but I don't see any way to do it. It seems that I can align the text to the middle, but not the heading. And maybe it is because of this icon over here. But anyway, personally, I think it looks fine. If this is aligned to the left, I think everything should align to the left. And here we go. I think this looks cool. The next thing we want to do is to add a contact form over here. And then when we wrap it up, we can link every section to the header menu. I'll show you how to do that in a while. So right here, let's add a heading. Let's put this as contact me. And the size, we want to put it as 55. Add some padding to this. Align this to the middle. And now I need to add a form here. But the problem with this is that Stackable does not have a form block. So we gotta install another block plugin called Cadence Blocks. So let's update this first. And then let's head back to the WordPress dashboard. And let's go to plugins and add new. Let's search for Cadence. And then this is the plugin we need. Let's install this and activate. Now we don't need a lot of blocks because Stackable has them. So let's deactivate this. We'll keep this form. We'll deactivate the rest of the blocks. And we are done. Let's save changes. Let's head back to the WordPress editor and refresh it. And right here, let's add a new block. Browse all. And over here, you can see these are the blocks from the Cadence blocks. We need this form block. So let's click on this. And here we go. Now this doesn't look nice, but let me go through the settings here. So this name settings, which is represented by this field here, you can actually make it a required field if you want to. And if you want to show the label, which is this label here, or you can hide it, it's really up to you. And alternatively, you can add a field placeholder. So for example, you want to add first name. So this will appear right here. And then let's scroll down. For the email settings, we'll put this as required. Field label, I will hide it. And for the field placeholder, I'll put in something like this. And then the rest, I'll leave it as it is. And for the message settings over here, we want it to be required so that people can leave their comments and ask questions. And you can create a conversation with them. So I do not want to show the label. And for the placeholder, I'll put in something like this. How can I help you? And then you can determine what happens after they have submitted this form. You can send it across to your email marketing provider such as MailerLite, Fluent CRM, Sendinblue, MailChimp, or you can keep the information on your website. But for this, you need the Cadence Pro add-on, which you can get it from this link. But anyway, if you don't want to upgrade to the Pro version, just create an account with MailerLite. You can set it up for free, and you can even do some autoresponder from there. Now let's start to design this form. So let's scroll down. Under the field styles, for the font size, we'll probably put it as maybe 20. For the input size, you can change it to small or large, but I'll keep it to medium. The input color, I'll put it as white. And for the input background, I would turn this transparent. The border, I'll put it as this color. You can adjust the border width by adding a number to this. So if I put 5, the border will be much thicker. But I prefer to have it as 1. And then for the border radius, which is the curve at the corners of the boxes, we can put it as maybe 15 or maybe 10. I think this is good. For the label styles, we don't have any labels here, so I can switch this off. And finally, for the button styles, we can put the background color as this, the text color as white. And for the button size, we can put it as large. On hover, we can have the background color as a little darker. And that's basically it. We have completed the entire page, and now let's connect everything together. Now as for this contact me, you can just click on this. Let's go to advanced, and under this advanced tab, you can see there is this HTML anchor. This is where you will add a label for your menu to identify this section. So let's say I'll just put it as contact, and let's update this. And if we head to the theme customizer, by going to appearance and customize, we can go to the header. And then as for this button, for this link, all you need to do is to put in as contact. Let's publish this, and then let's refresh the live page. And as I expand this out, right, if I click on this contact, it will bring me to this contact section. So that's how the HTML anchor works. Let's connect everything together. We've done the contact, and this is the FAQ. So under advanced and then advanced FAQ. So whatever internal links you put to your menu items, this have to match. Let's scroll up. This is the latest studio projects. So let's put as project. Cool. Next, let's go to my services. Under the advanced, I'll put in as services. And then for this part, I'll just select this whole thing, which is this feature block. Under advanced, we have this as about. Cool, let's update this. And let's go to the menu items. Let's select header 1. And we gotta change this up a little bit because things have changed. So for a start, let's go to menu 2. We have this about. Let's expand this. For this URL, we wanna put a hashtag and about. Next, let's scroll down. We have my services. So under my works, I'll change this to my services, or maybe just services. And for the URL, I'll put it as this. Let's save menu. Next, let's go to header menu 1. We'll remove this as well as this. And let's change this to latest projects. So for the HTML anchor we have created was our projects. Let's check. So it's just project without the S. This has to match. And then next, we have the FAQ. So for this, let's remove. Let's put this as FAQ. This is the HTML anchor. Let's save menu. Let's refresh. And here we go. If we click on latest projects, it will bring us to the project area, the FAQs, the services, the about, and the contact. And the final thing we have to do is to make this mobile friendly. Because as we make it into a mobile screen, we can see that the header menu do not have that contact button. And as we click on this, there are only 2 items here. So we gotta fix this. Let's go to the theme customizer. And then over at the header settings, if you forgot how to reach this part, it is under the general options and header. And then let's select this tablet/mobile header. This off canvas area, right, basically represents this. Currently, it only has this mobile menu, which only has these 2 items. You can change this by going back to your menus. And because we have selected this main menu as the mobile menu, it only has 2 items. But if you want to create another mobile menu that includes everything, we can do so as well. Let's remove this, save changes, and then let's create a new menu. And this time around, I'll put this as mobile menu. And let's select this and create the menu. I'll put in the custom links. I'll put this as projects. The link text will be latest studio projects. Next, I'll create the FAQ. And then services, as well as about. Let's save menu. And actually, once you refresh this, the changes will reflect immediately. And now we need to add a button. Let's see how we can do it. Let's head back. And then as we can see here, there's this button. We can click and drag it over to the off canvas menu. And over here, you can see this contact right here. You can make it large, which looks a lot nicer. And you can add socials as well. And this looks good. Now let's close this. Now I don't really like this because I would like the logo to be in the middle. And then for the trigger, I like it to be on the left. And I like the button to be on the right. I can only have 1 button. I think if you upgrade to the Pro, you can actually have more buttons over here. So that's basically it. Let's publish this and let's refresh the live page and see how it looks like. So as you can see, on mobile, it will look like this. If you click on this trigger, you can select this and it will bring you to the section. This looks good. And if somebody wants to contact you, because this is a sticky header, they can click on contact and it will bring them to this area. And on the desktop, it will look like this. Click on the latest projects, it will go to this section. If I click on the FAQ, it will go to this section, the services and about. And if you click contact, they can contact you through this form. So that's how you create a 1-page website that looks amazing. It really depends on your use case. But I think a 1-page website works perfectly with a personal portfolio. And if you have any other use cases, feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know. I'm really interested to know other use cases for a 1-page website. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial as much as I love creating it. And if you find this video helpful, can you do me a little favor and smash that thumbs up button so that this video can reach out to others who need to create a 1-page website for free. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as more web design templates with conversion focus will be released from my channel, so you don't want to miss them out. Anyway, I wish you all the best, stay cool and stay safe.